Hi Year 10 Sociology class. This is the first video lesson that I've been able to do for you guys. I really hope it's helpful. We are almost at the end of the family unit, which has been a really long unit. It's the only one that we've studied this year. You've hopefully done education and I think research methods with Mrs. Sales, but we are coming to the end of the family unit. So I'll do this lesson for you today. You've got another one later this week, and then we're really just pulling it together and doing a bit of revision on it before we move on to our next unit. So I thought it might be helpful for you to see my face and hear my voice as I go through some of the tasks. You've done really well at just using the textbook pages and making notes and stuff like that. Thank you for sending me the work when you've done them that week. And if you haven't been sending me the work, please can you just try and catch up with that and just let me know that you've been getting on with it. And really importantly, if you've got any questions or anything that you're not sure about, please make a note of it, send me an email and ask me, and I will get back to you with some help. So I am going to go through a PowerPoint with you today. But you should also have this sheet that I will show you in a moment. And I'd like you to use this sheet as well, please. So like all of the other weeks you've been doing, this is a photocopy of the textbook that we've been using all year. And it's got the objectives there, outlines some of the social issues associated with families and family life. So this is our topic for today. And I'm also going to share with you a PowerPoint, and that's what I'll go through for most of this lesson. Okay, so the lesson today is on contemporary social issues relating to families, and we're going to cover all sorts of different things. The main issues that are covered in the textbook and that I'm going to kind of talk about a little bit today are the quality of parenting, relationships between teenagers and the elderly, and care of disabled and elderly people. But there are lots of other issues as well that might cause concern for government or for policy makers. And some of the current issues are things like child poverty, parents who don't take responsibility for their children, long working hours for parents, the rights of children, and teenage pregnancy. So what I'd like you to do, please, is jot those issues down. And I'd like you to pick a couple of those and explain how you think those issues might threaten this idea of the family. So pause the video here, pick maybe two of those and explain how you think those issues might threaten the family. Okay, so one of the topics that's in the book that I think is really interesting to look at is this idea of teenage parents. So that's anybody that becomes a parent between age 13 and age 19. And there are some great TV shows that you might have seen, like 16 and Pregnant or Teen Mum, that kind of highlight this issue. But the fact is that lots of people might see becoming a parent as a teenager as a problem. So under the subheading Teenage Parents, could you please put your reasons why you think some people might have a problem with teenagers becoming parents? What are the problems or the difficulties that might occur when a teenager becomes a mum or a dad? I'm going to share a video with you now from an episode of This Morning, and it has some teenage mums talking about their experiences and kind of what people might think of them as teenage mums.
First of all, why was it important for you to do this? Because we've seen the American one, and it really is warts and all. This isn't just like a very glossy, nice show. I mean, it shows everything. It's a very honest account of what it's like to be a teen mum. So why do it?
I think I can speak for all of us when I say this. I think we wanted to go on and show that we're not just sitting on our bums doing nothing. Yeah. We're actually really good mums, and we're working hard, trying to do the best for our children.
You've 100%. Watched the American Teen Mum. So how did it happen to you?
Antibiotics.
So you were on the pill,
yes,
taking antibiotics, which affected the efficacy of the pill.
Yes.
So you say that your little boy Marley was a good accident.
Yes.
But not in no way a mistake.
No, definitely not.
And also, it's important that you want to stress that you're not doing this show as a kind of sort of to advertise teen pregnancy. That's not what this is about at all.
No, not at all. I think, like I said, we just want to come on to show everyone that it's not all glamorous. There's dirty nappies and crying babies, but we're doing our absolute best for our kids.
Okay.
What about Amber? So you had Brooklyn when you were 17.
Yeah.
And you say that you wanted to change the perceptions of a teen mum.
Yeah, because like in the past, like I seem to think that people like I've never really had anyone look at me and think like, oh God, she's young, you know, like give me like funny looks or anything. But I know that people do think of teen mums like to be, you know, like if they don't do anything, they probably like just claim it for government. But like with me, like I've just finished college. Like I found out I was pregnant when I was in college, and I decided to stay on. But like I didn't have to, you know, but I decided to. It was like so hard, like 'cause obviously I was pregnant and like I've got all this work to do, so it was like hard to concentrate and stuff, but like, I still did it. I was there for 3 years. I managed to get really good grades, which I'm quite surprised about.
Well done. But it's not just that, is it? I mean, this is a massive shift in your life, particularly when you're a teenager, because, you know, you're growing up, you're learning about yourself before you've even got time to look after somebody else. You don't quite know who you are yet, and you were a bit of a party girl, and this was a massive gear change.
Yeah.
Has that all gone out the window?
Well, I wasn't always like wanting to go out. My mum used to say like, oh, you act older than your age and stuff, you know, you act like a 23-year-old even though I'm 17. And when I found out I was pregnant, it was like shocking and that.
You say it turned your life upside down.
Yeah, it has, like, but like in a really good way. Like it's made me like I'm living on my own, like, so like I've got to pay bills, like rent, shopping. I've got like Brooklyn to provide for myself now. I'm like.
Gonna make your family for
But it's
him.
also all about the dads as well. Some are present, some are not.
Yeah.
You don't have much of a relationship with the father, whereas you do.
Yeah.
It's Jordan, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Jordan, you say, well, he's your rock. You know, you couldn't have done it without him. A little bit more complicated for you and your circumstances, because your partner, Manly, he's actually got 2 children.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? Well, I know how it happened, but...
Won't explain that. But we were together for like 2 years before, and then we broke up, and he got another girlfriend, and then they were together, and they were expecting a baby, and then they broke up, and then me and him got back together.
And then it happened to you.
Yeah.
So that must make things really complicated. When you've just had a baby, and you're young, and you're tired, and you're trying to hold all your emotions together, and it must be difficult. It must be really tough at times. You say you struggle with jealousy a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he has a relationship with, you know, with his other baby.
Of course he
does.
So he would see his ex.
I'm so jealous all the time. Like, and I feel really sorry for him because he's always trying to like just keep it like, you know, civil, and then there's just me like a little jealous.
And is he a young guy as well? He's very young. So that's a lot for his young head to keep up with.
Yeah. He just tries to keep it all civil, and then there's just me just throwing it in there, trying to be, you know, I get jealous because like we're all young, aren't we? So we get jealous. All young girls get jealous.
And you gave birth on screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's a brave choice to make.
Yeah.
How was that?
Do you know what? I completely forgot they were there. I was so just in my own bubble.
Are you glad you did it now, looking back?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it next week.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh my
I can't wait to watch it.
Wow.
And I can't wait for Malia to watch it as well when she's older, because
it's like to have forever.
Yeah, it's meant
I know
to
what you mean.
forever.
I know what you mean.
Well, it's nice to meet you, ladies, and your advice to other teenage girls watching.
don't give up on your dreams. I think that's the biggest thing.
Make sure you don't take antibiotics. Don't take 2 pills in one day and think you're covered, basically.
Just keep your head up high and just do it the best you can for your child. Don't matter what anyone else says, really, as long as you are doing 100%.
Yeah.
But try to do it at the right time in your life if you possibly can.
Yeah, I do say, like, if I could have, I would have waited, but things happen for a reason, I see it as.
All right, well, Teen Mum UK continues on Wednesday, 8 p.m. on MTV, and you can catch up on the one if you missed it last night. And
Let's bring them in.
Babies, yeah, here they are. Let's bring them in and say hello.
Here we go. Hiya.
Oh, so gorgeous. Look at you.
Hello, dancing in.
Oh, they're very sweet.
Marley, Brooklyn,
Marley,
and Malia.
Brooklyn and Malia, there you go. Oh, and they are absolutely beautiful. Congratulations, girls. Well done, you. You're doing a great
Let's get a lovely shot of you so you've got something. Look, there you go. There you go. There's the shot. There's a shot you can screen grab.
Beautiful.
There we are.
If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the...
Okay, I hope you found that interesting. I thought it was really interesting watching Holly and Phil's reaction to them as well, and how they kind of, you know, like they were kind of saying, well, you know, just do the best that you can and be the best mum that you can. And then Phil was kind of like, well, but wait till the right time. And that's quite interesting, isn't it? That they did seem to be saying, you know, it's not ideal what's happened. So I'm going to put the PowerPoint back on, and I'd just like you to write down what you think about this, really. It's, you know, obviously you've written down some problems with it already, and it's not ideal, but there are some really interesting ideas that people have about teenage mothers. And this one, it's probably a little bit dated now. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. This character is, I've forgotten the name of the actor. It's from a TV program that's quite old now called Little Britain, and it's kind of sketch shows. And this character is called Vicky Pollard, and she's kind of supposed to be like a classic chav. She's, you know, quite rude and doesn't speak very good English and hasn't got good education, and she's also a teen mum to lots of babies with different fathers, and it's kind of a bit of a statement about some teenagers in some parts of Britain. And so I think there's quite a lot of bad publicity about teenage mothers, but there is another side to it as well. So what I'd like you to do, please, is write down what your opinion is. Can teenagers ever make good parents? And give your reasons for that, or your evidence or examples for that. And then have a look at the sheet that I'm sending you as well. And it's got something there about Simon Duncan's research in 2006. And he kind of looks at it from a different angle. So can you write some notes on that, please, about what he suggests about teenage parents? And although in our society we kind of say, well, these girls especially, but also the fathers, are not ready to be parents. In some cultures, in some societies and throughout history, women have given birth very young, and that in those cultures was normal. So is it just something in our society now that we don't think is right? But might there be reasons why it could be good? Okay. So when you've done that, the next task, please, is on the sheet to read the research activity on parent and child relationships on page 130. And I'd like you to make notes, please, on the Joseph Rowntree Foundation in 2007. And they highlighted a few things, which were children's educational achievements, children's social skills, and relationships with peers. So could you make notes on those 3 things, please, and what they show about parent-child relationships? Okay, so one thing that it should say on your sheet is that government and policies and policymakers care about these issues that affect families, because there's that idea that the family reflects on society. And so, you know, if families are functioning well, then society can function well. So governments do things to try and provide help for families. And some examples of that might be things like family tax credits, so money or having to pay less tax for your family and different circumstances of that family. Council tax benefits, so not paying as much council tax. Things like child benefits as well, but also something called Sure Start. So I want to tell you a bit about Sure Start and use this as a kind of case study of government help for families. So a bit of history is that Sure Start is a UK-based initiative that works through the local councils. It's actually been going since 1998. And was first applied to England, but there are different versions of it in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland as well. And the aim of it was giving children the best possible start in life. So it goes from the birth, actually before the birth of a child, it goes from the maternity care that the expecting mother gets. And it's through the improvement of childcare, early education, health and family support, and it has an emphasis on the outreach and community development. So it's kind of run through local authorities and councils, as I said, but it's someone called Tessa Jowell who was responsible for kind of starting this up. And later, in 2015, so much later, she said, "I'm very proud of setting up Sure Start because the first 3 years of a child's life are absolutely critical in determining the chances that they have subsequently." By 2010, Sure Start was evaluated and it could identify that there was a significant impact on some of the outcomes which are listed above. In 2015, they commented, "Children's centres set up to support parents of young children can improve the mental health of mothers and the functioning of families. However, these benefits are being eroded by cuts." And in 2015, since 2015, and up until now, there have been really, really significant cuts to Sure Start centres and children's centres all over the UK. And that, you know, is a problem because that help that families were getting when they really needed it is much harder for them to get now. So in 2019, a study conducted by the Institute of Fiscal Studies concluded that Sure Start reduced the numbers of people taken to hospital and saved millions of pounds for the National Health Service. So it's really important for lots of reasons to have these children's centres in and around the UK. Here's some examples of some stuff that's going on in Bath and North East Somerset. So you may have heard of, you may even have gone there as a child, Western Children's Centre, Parkside Children's Centre. You can see on them it says a Sure Start Children's Centre. So they were set up through that initiative. Places like First Steps, Moorlands Children's Centre were set up as Sure Start centres. And now Baines kind of groups all of these activities together in something called Bright Start Children's Centres. And if you've got a little bit of time in this lesson, then I'd recommend you go on to the Bath and North East Somerset website and look at the variety of things that they offer. So this is everything from health visitors who visit homes of families before babies are born, in the very early days of a baby's life, all the way up until I think till they're like 4 when they start school. It includes play groups where parents can take their children along to, things like breastfeeding hubs for support, places where mums can go and talk about their mental health, and things like cookery classes and stuff like that to make sure that children are getting a balanced diet. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to say about Sure Start, but please have a look in the book and make some notes on it as well. This is a really good case study that you can use for how the government tries to improve parenting, improve the quality of parenting. And I should have said in terms of the teen parents thing that they do have special things that they run for teenage parents as well. Okay, another area to look at then is young carers, what it means to be a young carer, and how the government might help with that as well. So Bath Young Carers has got a brilliant website that you can go to, but I thought I'd play you a little video from their YouTube channel as well, so you can get an idea of what it means to be a young carer and what's involved, but also how the government through the council might help them, support them.
This is Olivia. She does something pretty amazing. She helps to look after her mum and takes on a lot of responsibility for somebody her age. This means missing out on the things that most kids do, like seeing friends or keeping up with homework. Olivia is a young carer, but she doesn't know it yet.
What's a young carer?
A young carer helps look after someone in their family who needs extra help.
I'm just helping out.
But you probably do more than your friends.
I guess so. Can other people tell I'm a young carer?
Well, did you know I'm a young carer too?
Oh, really?
Why don't you come to young caring?
What if I don't like it?
Don't worry, everyone is really friendly. We'll just chat, play games, and eat lots of food. There are lots of activities to join in with.
Will it help me feel better?
Yes, they understand what it's like to be a young carer. You can make friends with other young carers too.
Hey Olivia, shall we go and have a chat and see how we can help you?
Thank you to young carers in Baines who helped make this video. Narrator played by Abdul, Olivia played by Gracie, Charlie played by Mohammed. Credits read by me, Emma, and I'm a young carer too.
Okay, and this is the Young Carers website, I think. So you can have a look at that as well. So this is again run by Bath and North East Somerset Council, and it just tells you lots about what they offer for young carers and how they support young carers in the community. So have a look at that, because I think that just kind of adds something to the stuff that you're doing from the book. Okay, so there's quite a lot there to be getting on with, and there's lots of extra there to research and find out about. But the final thing I'd like you to do today, please, is from the sheet, could you read the research focus on young carers on page 131 and the rest of the information on page 131 as well, please, and make any notes that you need to on that. Thank you.